Hi there, welcome back to the CISSP Success Toolkit, Twister of the Day number 108. Let's see what we have in for today. This particular question has been taken from CISSP Objective 7.4, which talks about security operations, right? And whenever we outsource the security services to a third party. So the question is, in the context of multinational corporation that has engaged a managed service provider for its IT infrastructure management, executives have identified a gap in the service level agreement pertaining to explicit performance metrics. Which initiative would be the most effective in enhancing the SLA to ensure precise and measurable performance monitoring? Go ahead, take 1 minute to review the option and provide me the answer. You can put it on the comments, and I will explain you after that. So let's review this particular question. The first option says amending the SLA to incorporate general performance clauses. See, as and when we outsource some security services to a third party, it can be your SOC related services, it can be your TPRM related services, anything, right? The problem here is, as and when we outsource services to a third party, we are giving the control to them. So there is a lack of control on the data and the entire, posture of the entire thing. How can we enforce it? Right. So there are two things, right? As and when we are engaging with the third party, the number one we do is we actually have a return master service agreement. This master service agreement should also have all clauses related to security. However, this particular master service agreement is for a maybe 1 year, 2 year, or a 3 year period. We don't go and review this particular agreement on so frequent basis, right? So, how do we track the particular performance of a vendor on a regular basis? That is normally done by establishing a SLA documentation with them. And whenever we are establishing a SLA, that is service level agreement, it is not a kind of documentation with clauses and all those kind of stuff. No, it is most of the time is a clear matrix of expectation. For example, what is the uptime required? For what if the uptime is reduced by so much percentage in a particular year or maybe in a particular month? Then what is the kind of penalty or the kind of extra service the vendor has to give it to you? Similarly, for example, there are security incident that also will be part of your SLA, and it will say, okay, P1 incident has to be mitigated within 2 hours. P2 incident can be mitigated within 12 hours, and so on, right? So those kind of clear, unambiguous metrics has to be established as part of the SLA. The problem is companies don't do that. They really, some of the companies, they are just doing the formality. We don't establish, we don't give a proactive thought process to that, and that can lead to problems. So a option which says amending the SLA to incorporate general performance clauses. Sir, SLA will not be including general performance clauses. It has to be very, very specific. Everything you put in your SLA has to be measurable, quantifiable, and based on that only you are going to deal with the vendor. So I don't think A is the answer because it talks about general performance clauses, not the right option. Option number B is initiating a collaborative effort with the MSP, master service provider, to define and integrate key performance indicator into the SLA. I think this makes a lot of sense. Why? Because as and when you are collating, you are kind of cooperating with a third party or you are engaging a third party with some of the thing, you need to be very clear on what is their KPI, what is their key performance indicator, right? So you need to collaborate, and the best way is to collaborate with them, right? So collaborate with them to establish KPI. Makes most of the sense till now, but let's review other two options as well. Instituting a regular self-assessment protocol for the MSP to evaluate and report on its performance. Now we are giving the key to them only to always report you something which has no validation. If we ask them only to do the self assessment and tell you how better we are performing, you will always get good answers from them all the time. So I don't think this is going to meet the requirement. Number D is engaging an external auditor to oversee and report on the MSP performance in alignment with the SLA. Sir, engaging a auditor on a constant basis, because you have to monitor the performance not once in a year. You have to monitor this performance throughout the year. And for that, if you hire an auditor just for that purpose, and that too external, it's going to be very, very costly affair. It's not business logical, right? So your team only has to establish some kind of meeting with them, maybe on a weekly basis, maybe on a uh, on a uh, on a yes, a 15-day basis or a monthly basis, to actually track this SLA. Whatever the SLA was, are we meeting this particular SLA? As per the SLA, whatever the KPIs are there, are they properly defined, and are we getting what we are expecting from them in terms of KPI? So that is what is the concept overall here. The right option in this particular case, I hope you can answer now, that is option number B, right? So option B is the right answer here. I hope you are liking this entire series. We are putting in a lot of effort to bring in some kind of good questions to you, which are very closely aligned with CISSP objectives. I hope this is helping you. If it helps you, feel free to share, and share with others also, and obviously subscribe to this particular platform. With that said, Jai Hind, and I will meet you in another question.